What's going on, YouTube? I figured today would be as good of day as any to enjoy the last few riding days that we have that are still decent in Indiana. Get the hell out of here and go grab some lunch. Can't beat working from home and taking the motorcycle out on a lunch break. There's just nothing like it. I mean, you have an absolute crap day, just filled with the usual nonsense and BS of an office environment, and this just makes it all go away. Of course, that's assuming that, you know, you don't ride your bike to the office anyway, but it's more of a pain wherever you got to dress professionally. The last few times I've went out, it's been like right after work, in the thick of rush hour. And I live in a pretty densely populated area. You know, there's freaking housing subs everywhere. And oh my gosh, it has not been all that fun. Especially like yesterday, you know, we're still doing some projects at the house, so I had to run to Lowe's, which meant going into town, not away. So, getting stuck behind all the slow drivers who just don't know how to have fun like you can have on a bike. This time of day, everybody's still chained to their desk, not clogging up these beautiful roadways around here. It's perfect. Love it. I spoke too soon. Never fails, man. Still having a blast though. That's something I was explaining to somebody was, you know, the only time it really sucks on a motorcycle to be in traffic is on really hot days when you're sitting still. Then you absolutely roast. You know, considering if you have a liquid cooled bike, the fans just blow all the hot air all over your legs. But, you know, even though you're stuck behind cars and whatnot, still having a way better time than if I was in my own car. And my favorite is when we go from single lane roads to 2-lane roads. So, it's been a very interesting, year. That goes without saying. But honestly, I'm just ready for this to be over with. I'm just so tired of the political climate right now, and just how divided everybody is, you know? Like, we're supposed to be on the same team here, fighting for the same cause. And people are treating this like it's a Super Bowl. And they're so divided and just nasty towards each other. And people are vandalizing people's property, stealing signs and this and that. And it's like, come on, man. Like, you know, and both sides are guilty of it. It's not just one or the other, but holy crap. Ready for it to be over with for sure. And then on to the next thing, no doubt. So it's going to be very interesting when the winner is announced. And, you know, I just hope that all hell doesn't break loose in the city centers like people are predicting. So, we'll see. Man, it's been just been such a shit year overall for most people. Like, I don't know. I didn't really feel the sting of it until literally this last Friday when my company announced that, you know, they tried for as long as they possibly could to make things work financially. They ended up having to lay off 5% of my company. And some of those people were, you know, on my team, which really stung. It felt like losing a family member, since we're pretty close. We're a pretty close-knit group, and you know, we're really cohesive like that. And the company overall is very, very interested in maintaining the employee-centric culture, you know, to where they will literally do anything for us. They don't treat us like numbers. It's a new experience for me, because most places I worked aren't like that, and it just really sucked to see that business decision have to be made at the end of the day in order to, you know, plan for the long term. And the entire weekend, I was just in a horrible, just sunken mood. You know, just seeing that happen, and I'm very fortunate. You know, it didn't happen to me. I still got to keep my job, and you know, and now dealing with the fallout of, you know, losing people in the company. But you know, many others felt this way back in the spring when, you know, the stay-at-home orders were first issued and whatnot. So it's pretty delayed for my company, I'd say, to be feeling some of the feelings that are going around. And all I can say is I'm really glad the weather broke a little bit this week, so I can just get out for some two-wheel therapy. It's unfortunate that, you know, people have their entire lives basically uprooted, you know, this close to the holidays. And I won't go into many details on how my company handled it, because it's, you know, I don't want to give away information, but the people who were let go were given a pretty good severance package, and it was really generous of them to do that for the people who lost their jobs. So it could have been worse, but you know, it still sucks either way. It's life, man. You think you got it all, and then one day you don't. And a lot of these people have wives and kids to worry about, you know, and some of these people, it was just unfortunate. They've been with the company for so long and were so loyal. And it sucks that some people, you know, the experience they had to be taken, but it is what it is. You know, and they're fortunate that they could, hopefully in this climate, they can find more work in the field and, you know, go for it that way. And it's one of those things where I feel like it's going to weigh on me for a while personally. And everybody dealt with this in some way, shape, or form at the beginning of this year. And so I feel like I'm really late to the party. But, you know, it does suck. And I've talked with several of my coworkers about it, and talked with my supervisors about it, and I mean, they were reeling from it too. It really hurt them to be told they had to do that, because like I said, my group is, you know, we're like a family, and it hit close to home. Felt like losing family members. Got to get through it one way or the other. I think I've talked enough. It's probably about time to get lunch. You know, and they announced all this. It was like, holy shit, dude, is this really happening? And you could tell the somber feel of the the environment we were in when they were about to announce it to everybody. It was like, oh no, I've been through this before. I know exactly where this is going. And in that moment, you're scared because you're not thinking rationally. And you know, by the time they've announced it to everybody, 9 times out of 10, they've already cut loose the people that were going to get laid off. That's just how it is. But in that moment, it's like, oh shit. You know, is it me? But rational thought goes out the window. At least it did for me, because it kind of caught me off guard. And I knew better. I knew the way it worked. I've been in other places. I've been on the receiving end of that before. And it brought back a lot of emotions that I felt from years ago when I went through that same experience. So that was an immediate buzzkill for that entire day. And the weekend, for that matter. But, you know, we're coping. I'm coping. You know, talking with people. Talking what is effectively to myself here. You know, for others to see. Maybe. If I decide to post the video. We'll see. God, winter sucks. I'm not ready for it, man. I literally had this thing out every day in the summer when it was nice. And it's just the greatest way to detox from work, especially without that work-home separation due to working from home. This allowed me just to turn off the computer at the end of the day, you know, grab my keys and gear and head out for an hour or two, whatever it may be. I mean, literally every single day. And it really helped me. But now going into winter, yeah, I know how this goes. living in Indiana in the winter it's better than living north of Indiana, but it still kind of sucks because, well, we usually don't deal with a lot of precipitation here. It's just freaking cold all the time. Like right now, it's like 65 degrees or so. So I mean, I'm not like leathered up, and I'm a little cool, but it's not bad. I can deal with this all the time. But I went out for a couple of rides, you know, the last few weeks when the temperatures dipped into like the highs of like the 40s. Oh man, that sucked. I was not used to that like I was several years ago when I rode motorcycles. So we'll see what I do. I might hold out for as long as I can, and you know, I think it really helped to vent a little bit. And this will be like the third time probably fourth time I've really talked just out loud about everything. And I think each time kind of helps. As minor as it may seem, dealing with a layoff, you know, in the perspective of things, it's not like I, you know, actually lost a family member, but or, you know, dealt with the on the receiving end of that. But still, it's all about perspective. It still sucks either way you look at it. And when, you know, you live in your own little bubble where life's grand and you really think you've got it made, things are looking up for you. It is what it is at this point. I was thinking Subway sounded good today. Could have went to the one that had a drive-thru. That would have been kind of a funny experience on a motorcycle. But nah, we'll do this one. It'll be fine. Alright, well, lunch has been attained. has been obtained, so time for a freaky fast delivery to my house. You know, as much as I tend to hate fall because of obviously what comes after it, makes for some beautiful riding. I mean, I'd say that, and this area is just completely void of leaves at this point. So we had a few windy days that kind of blew the trees out pretty well. At least the ones that were more feeble, or more susceptible to temperature shifts. But either way, I came through here a few weeks ago, and it was very nice sights, let's say that. But alas, back to the soul-sucking time that is work, right? It's fun while it lasted. As nice as it is to get the bike out in the middle of the workday, frickin' sucks going back home. Taking it to such a high note in the middle of the day, and then having to just put it away and sit in front of a monitor. It's not the greatest feeling in the world, but well, that's enough fun for now. So, we'll see y'all later.